Hey, hi guys, this is Faizan and welcome to today's session on JavaScript interview questions. Now, before I start, can you guys quickly confirm in the chat if I'm audible? Is my screen visible? Can you see the pointer? Okay, if everything is good, just give me a quick confirmation in the chat. If I'm looking on this side, that means I'm moderating your chat. So don't worry, okay? Just quickly give me a confirmation. And in the meanwhile, while we wait for others to join, let me give you a quick tour of how our academy looks like, okay? So just go into the Google Chrome, okay, any browser, okay. So just type in Great Learning Academy, and the first link that is there, just click on it, and it will redirect you to this page. Now this is our Great Learning Academy, okay. Now over here you can see the career path option, okay, and if you're looking for specific career paths like in software engineering or ML or AI, so you can click on these things, okay. And if you're looking for the transformation programs, like you want to change your career and you want to go into data science or artificial intelligence, machine learning, management or software development, we have postgraduate courses available, okay. So these are all the courses that we have. So we also have an MCA degree program available, okay. Cool. So this is all the paid stuff, okay. And if you're looking for if you're preparing, right, the graduates from 2020 or to 2021, so we have a career plus program as well, okay. You can check it and you can join for free, and these are the companies that now our students got placed in, okay. So plus, if you're looking for something which is absolutely free and you want to add those things into your resumes or in your LinkedIn profiles, we have courses available in IT and software. We have Java programming, Python, front end HTML, that is CSS, blockchain, okay, data structures, Excel is there, MySQL is there, Android app development is there, Java is there. All these courses are absolutely free, and in order to get the certification, you just have to click on them, right, and just click on them and just enroll yourself, which is absolutely free. And then in the course you can also see what are the basic things that you are going to cover, okay. Just click on it, and after the once you complete this course, this is the certificate of completion that you will be getting, which will look like something like this, okay. So you can check it once the session is over, okay. Let me just scroll back, yeah. And plus, if you're looking for live sessions, right, like what are the live sessions that are right now happening. And so as you can see that today I'm taking JavaScript interview questions, tomorrow I'll be taking some common coding problems, okay, and the language maybe I will be using Java, okay. So then day after tomorrow, that is on Thursday, or on the same day, from 4 to 5 there will be another session for big data, okay. So if you can view all the sessions, like just click on here and you can view all the live sessions that will be happening this week, okay. So on Friday we'll be having web developer, to how to become a web developer in 2021, okay. Cool. So now without further ado, let's get started with our session. So okay, can you make a video on JavaScript in Hindi? So JavaScript in Hindi, yeah, we can try. But we already have, yeah, all these courses are not for free. Not the ones which are postgraduate programs, okay, PG programs. But for the ones which I showed you, you can easily, those are absolutely free, and all those courses may range from 2 hours to 2.5 hours, okay. Plus, yeah, PDF will be shared with you guys once the session is uploaded, okay. And yeah, regarding JavaScript course, it is already there. It's a 10-hour and 30-minute course which is already on our YouTube channel. You guys can subscribe, and then you can easily view all the courses that are available on our YouTube channel as well as on our Great Learning Academy, okay. Cool. So let's start with some basic questions, and then slowly we'll move to some advanced questions as well, and plus some tricky questions as well, okay. So the first question, what is a JavaScript? So without, I won't be asking you what is a JavaScript. This is just an introduction question, that how do you explain this thing, okay. So it is a basically verb of a web page. So there is something which is known as the noun and the verb. So noun is known as your HTML, and the verb, that is all the actions there will be, where you will be performing those actions, right, that is your verb. So that is known as your JavaScript. So now what is this verb? Basically all the actions, like If you click on this, what will happen? If you click on this, what will happen? So all these actions that you perform on a web page is nothing but your JavaScript. Now again, it is an object-oriented programming language which uses just-in-time compiler. That is, it will use the best of both the worlds. That is, what is the best thing in your compiler, what is the best thing in your interpreter. The best of those two worlds will be used in this JIT compiler, okay? And you can easily run JavaScript in your web browsers, okay? And it can range, the applications can range from web development, mobile development, game development, right? So you can use everywhere you can use JavaScript, almost in the, at least in these domains, right? And it's very simple and easy and very compatible with HTML and CSS, wherein HTML give you the structure, that is how the skeleton, right? The skeleton of your web page will be given by the HTML. And if you want to add some CSS, that is, you want to add the beautification, right? So you want to add colors, background images, and all those things, right? So you can add that thing with the help of CSS, or if you are well versed with CSS, you can also go for Bootstrap, okay? Sir, please, JavaScript video in. Yeah, sure. Cartooning, drawing. We will work on it as well. Okay. So we already have some courses available on our academy which are in Hindi, that is in JavaScript. So you can check it as well. Okay. After the session is over. So if you are well versed with CSS, you can go for Bootstrap as well. So basically it's a framework of CSS wherein you can get wherein you will have things which are readily available to you, okay? And it is, if you're looking for any software development role, now JavaScript is a skill which you must have, okay? So it is the most, we can say that if you are well versed with JavaScript, you can easily switch to React, which is one of the most popular framework which is based on JavaScript, okay? Then you have Node.js, which you can easily use in the backend, thus making you a full stack developer. So it is a good to have skill, okay? So this is all about JavaScript, okay? Now the first question, quickly guys. Now I want this session to be as interactive as possible, right? And I want you guys to write in the chat even if you are wrong, it's okay, okay? I will explain all the things, okay? So how many ways are there to write your JavaScript code? Quickly guys. So I will be waiting for you guys to answer, okay? So you can continuously write your answers in the chat so that obviously it will help you to remember things, and obviously if there is something else that you want to ask, you can ask me in the chat as well, okay? Quickly guys, how many ways are there with which you can write your JavaScript code? How many ways? Okay, some of you are saying one way. Okay, so I'm saying that how many ways are there to write your JavaScript code? Quickly guys. So basically, yeah, correct. So there are 3 ways. What are those 3 ways? So you can directly open your console, that is Ctrl+Shift+I, and you can start using or you can use console, right? There's a console wherein this is used basically for debugging purposes. You can check if is there any error, okay, or not. So this is basically the one way with which you can directly go ahead in the console, that is in your browser. Just press Ctrl+Shift+I, it will open up the developer console. You can directly go ahead and write your JavaScript there, okay? But it is usually used for debugging purposes, in order to check if there are any errors in your code or not. Then you have the script tag that you can include in your HTML file, but this is not recommended. Why? Because yeah, internal, inline, and external. Not inline, there is no such thing like inline, or I can say internal, yes, external, yes, but inline, that is in something which is used when you are dealing with CSS, that is inline CSS, okay? So now what happens if you have your HTML and inside that you are writing your script tag, and then you are adding the script that you have, right? Let's suppose you are just printing out hello world, right? So console.log hello world. So now this is not a recommended way. Why? Because if let's suppose there is one more HTML file, this is your HTML file number 1, this is your HTML file number 2. Now you want to add the same script. Can you add it, or do you have to repeat yourself? Obviously you have to repeat yourself, and you just have to write the same thing over and over again, over here, right? Right now I just told you there's a single line. Let's suppose if there are 1000 lines of code in this script, so again you are repeating yourself. This is not a recommended way because there is redundancy in it, okay? Now the third way, obviously, which is one of the best ways, right, that you can use an external JavaScript file wherein you have your script. Now here again in the same example, you have your HTML file number 1, you have your HTML file number 2. Now if you want to add the script, you can directly go ahead and use this by adding it. Same file, if you want to use it, same file you can use there over here. You just have to link this file with this HTML. Okay, that's it. Okay, cool. Now let's move ahead with the next question. So how many ways are there to open the console? So we are starting with basic, and these are easy questions, guys. Okay, so don't worry about it. Okay, so this is a good to know information that I'm giving you. Slowly and gradually we'll go on to more complex ones and more tricky ones. Okay, quickly, how many ways are there to open your console? Yeah, Anita, we'll work on the JavaScript full course in Hindi. Okay, quickly, guys. Please interact with me, guys. So this is very important. Correct. Samad says 2. Yes. So you can just go ahead, and the correct answer is obviously 2. And how do you open your console? You can either write Ctrl+Shift+I, that is the shortcut, and plus if you can go ahead and just right click on your browser and go to inspect. Okay, that's it. Okay, so these are the 2 ways with which you can open your console directly. That is again used for debugging purposes. Okay, if there is any error on your yeah, sure, Anjani. Okay, we'll work on the full course in Hindi. Okay, on JavaScript. Okay, cool. So now again I'm repeating this. If you have your JavaScript file, and in that you have your HTML file, you have your CSS file. Now if there are any errors in your JavaScript, right, so those will be reflected in this console. Okay, and that is why this is very important. Okay, if some file is linking correctly or not, is there any syntax error in your file, all of those errors will be in this console, and it will just say that okay, in JavaScript file, in this file, let's suppose demo.js, and it is on line number 13, there is an error, that is the end of statement is missing, or any error, right? So this is the best possible way with which you can debug your program. Okay, now let's move on to the next question. How can you write your JS code directly in your HTML file? Can anyone tell me how you can write it? Obviously now I'm asking you the syntax. So the syntax is that the script tag we will be using, as I told you earlier, right? So you will have this skeleton, right? This is nothing but the skeleton. Okay, if you open up your any IDE, right? If you open up your Sublime text IDE, right, you just type in HTML and then press a tab. So this skeleton will be there, which will have the HTML, which is opening and closing, which will have your head tag, basically all the metadata, right? The data will be, this data will never be represented on anything that is on your in your head tag, right? That data will never be represented or will not be presented on your on your browser. Okay, so then you have the title. This is very important. I will tell you the importance of this as well. Okay, then you have the body tag over from here to here. This is where the whole whatever you write is will be presented on your screen. So you have your head tag over here, and then you have the script tag over here. This is how you include your HTML. This is how you include your JavaScript in your HTML file. So let me just quickly go ahead and show you a little bit of demo. Okay, so that will be very important for you in order to understand it. Okay, so I will open up my Sublime text just for the sake of doing it. Okay, so you can use any editor you want. Okay, I will just open up the untyped. Now the first thing that I will be doing, I will just save my file and I will save it on the desktop, and then I will name it as demo.html. First the skeleton, right? Very important. So I have opened it up. Right now I will press HTML. I hope this is clear, visible to you guys. Let me just zoom it a little bit. Yeah, so cool. Now what I will be doing, I will be writing HTML and then press a tab. Now when I press the tab, this is the skeleton that I will be getting. So anything that you write in this home, in this title page, let's name it as home page. Now I will tell you the significance of this as well, why this title is important. So this is the HTML, and anything like this, the author's name or anything, metadata means information about your web page. So any information that you want to add, you can use this head tag. Okay, then you have the body tag over here, right? And in this, let me just write a simple paragraph tag, a p tag, and in that I will write lorem ipsum. I will press a tab. This is the what gibberish text I will be getting. This does not mean anything, but it is obviously something which is much more good looking, or I can say that much more interactive to look in at. If I write something like this, instead of if I write something like this ABCD, right? If I write something this is the gibberish text that HTML that you can have. Just write lorem and then press a tab. Okay, that's it. Now the next thing that you will be doing, you will be writing your script tag over here, right? You will write script, and then you can write, let me remove this for now, this is not important for now. Then I will write, let's suppose I'm writing console.log, okay, and then hello world. Okay, let's save this file, right? So this is the how you write your HTML, how you write your JavaScript code in the HTML file. Now for running it, first let's save this. We have saved it on the desktop, right? So let me just open up my desktop. On my desktop, you can see over here, this is demo. I will just double click on it and it will open up in over here. Okay, so now you can see that the paragraph that I wrote, the lorem ipsum thing, that gibberish text that I wrote, is I'm able to see that. Okay, but what about that hello world console, right? That we wrote in the console. So for viewing that, or in order to see how is there any error in that, you just go ahead on or right click on this page and go into inspect. Okay, or what you can do, you can write Control Shift and I. It will directly open up this page over here. Now if you go into the console, you can see that okay, this is the hello world that I was talking about, and you can see over here it is saying that in demo.html in line number 14, this is the text that you're writing. If I open up my Sublime again, you see the line number 14 over here. Now let me just write one simple error over here, or I can just write something which is not correct. So I'll write, instead of console.log, I will write call.log, and then I will write hello. Okay, just to to get some errors. Okay, I will save this file, I will refresh this. Now you can see that over here it is saying that in line number 15 there is an uncaught reference error, call is not defined. So it is treating this call as an object. Okay, so that is why it's saying that this call that you set, that call.log, is not, this call has not been defined. Okay, so that is the error that you will be getting. Okay, and you can easily view those errors and rectify those errors if you go into your console. So this is the importance of this console, this Control Shift I, or inspecting your HTML page. Okay, cool. So now let's go back to our web page. Okay, so this is how you write your HTML. In your HTML you will write your JavaScript. Are you able to understand, guys? Quickly confirm in the chat. Quickly, guys. In the meanwhile, let's move on to the next question. So what is the correct syntax for referring to an internal script? Quickly, guys. So now you are trying to refer to the internal script. That means that is something which is inside your HTML file. Which is the correct way? Quickly, guys. If you have any confusion, just write it in the chat, guys. I want this session to be as interactive as possible. So you can just write 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, some of you are saying 3. Sumit is saying 3. I'm talking about internal script, guys. How do you refer to that? It's okay if you are making mistakes, guys. It's okay. Samat says 4. Okay, 3. Okay, quickly, guys. I want to cover a lot of questions over here, and if you are able to respond quickly, that and we are not utilizing much time on each question, then maybe I can cover all those questions, which will be beneficial for you guys. Okay, quickly, guys. Okay, Vishal says 4. Okay, gaming says 3. Okay, cool. So the correct answer is the 4th option. Okay, why? I'm talking about the internal script over here, not the external one. So external, you can use this thing. Okay, but this source, this is the wrong syntax. This is the wrong syntax. Why? This over here I am using this reference, but this is not a thing in when you are trying to connect your or you can just say link your JavaScript file with your HTML file. Okay, so for internal use, you can just write script this, then press a tab. You remember the thing that which I removed, right? So that is the thing over here, which is the default option that you will be getting, that the type that you are writing over in this. Yeah, what is internal script? Internal script, Abdul Malik, is this is your internal script. If I just write over here script, then press a tab, you see over here, this is the by default option, the type of this file. That means this, what is the type of this file that you are writing inside the script, is of type JavaScript. Okay, simple. And this is what is known as internal script. Okay, done. So the correct option is this fourth one. Okay, now quickly, how or what is the syntax for referring to an external script? Quickly guys, now we are talking about external script. One, two, three, quickly. Guys, I am waiting for your answer. So we are talking about, now we are talking about what? External script. Earlier we were talking about internal. So gaming is saying one. Okay. What about others? One. Okay, great guys. Not the fourth one or not the third one, guys. It is Sumit. It's not the third. It is, the correct option is one. Okay. So this is the reference, right? And this is not how you link your external file. Okay. So what I'm doing, okay, so now the reference, this is not the correct option, this is the correct option. And the explanation is that if you are trying to use the script tag over here, right, so you just have to write this thing over at the top, and then you can easily use this thing. Okay, so let me just quickly show you how it's done. Okay, just remove this script tag over here, and then basically you will be writing your script tag over here, and you just link it in the head section. Just write script, and then the source, and then inside this you will write the name of your external file, which is, let's suppose, demo.js. okay, and then save your file. Now let's go ahead and create that external file. Let's save this file over here, and let's name this as demo.js. that is your JavaScript. Then again write a simple statement as console.log, which is nothing but hello world, and save this file. And now let's go ahead and quickly run this in the console. Now refresh it. Okay, now okay, so let's refresh it. Let's go into inspecting this, or control shift I, go into your console. You can see hello world, and you can see over here how you can judge that is this the correct file that you're linked to. You can see over here that it is written demo.js. Earlier we didn't have this file, right? Earlier it was demo.html. Now you're directly linked to this file. Just click on it and it will open up this file as well over here. Okay, so let me just maximize it. Let me just zoom it a little bit. Yeah, you can see that when I clicked on that file, it will just give me this file over here, which is this, which is nothing but your external file, which is over here. Okay, is this thing clear? This is how you link. Hello sir, I'm late, can you repeat? Okay, so Manish, we didn't cover that much. We just started with what is HTML, then how many ways are there that you can write your JavaScript code. Okay, once the session is over, you will be provided with the slide deck. Okay, and you can easily go ahead and view that PDF that is shared with you. Okay, so don't worry. Okay, so now this is the linking of your external file. Earlier we talked about the linking of internal file. So this was question number 5. Now the question number 6 was how you link your external file. Okay, done. Now let's try to see more questions which are a little bit trickier and a little bit which are related to your concepts. Okay, cool. So now let's start with this question. Can you please tell me what will be the output of this following JavaScript code? So you have var name, okay, and then inside that var you have defined your James, the string, the name of the file, okay, and then you have the roll number over here, which is 30, okay, and then you're trying to print this name and roll number. What will be the output, guys? Okay, 3, James and 30, okay, okay, Soba says 1, okay, 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 cool. So the correct option is obviously James without a space, okay. Why? Because we haven't included here the space. So this is a concatenation and we haven't used any space. If you want this to be the correct option, then you have to write name plus then within these quotes a space plus roll number, okay. That will be the correct option, okay. So you just have to visualize the questions correctly, okay guys. So this is the concatenation of two variables. Correct answer is 3. Yes, correct. Yes, Soba. Yes. Cool. So now, what will be the output in this case? So you have var @email and then you have gla @gla.in and then you are trying to print that email. What will be the correct answer? Is it gla @gla.in? Is it gla will be getting error or none of the above? Quickly guys. What will be the answer in this case? Just think about this question and try to visualize what is happening. Quickly guys. Okay, 3, okay, 2, okay, 3, okay, okay, we have multiple answers, okay, cool. So the correct answer is, guys, it will be an error. Why? Because according to the naming convention, right, when you start your naming, right, you can have different types or you can have different names for a variable, but the convention is that you always start with an alphabet, right? The alphabets that can be in uppercase or in lowercase. You can start with underscore, right? You can start with underscore or you can start with dollar. If it is not starting with these set of characters, right, then you will not be able to declare your variable, okay. Var name not special character. Yes, variable name you cannot use it over here, but if you're writing email @ this will work, okay. This will work, okay. So the correct answer is error, okay. Variable naming should begin with either a letter, dollar or an underscore. The first character should be among these, then it can be followed by any letter or digit, okay. Variable name cannot be same as the keyword. Obviously you cannot use the keywords as well, right, because they have a special purpose and they are reserved for special things, okay. And variable names are case sensitive. What do you mean by case sensitive? Let's suppose if you have defined a variable like this and you're trying to access a variable like this, so it will say that this variable has not been defined because there is a letter which is capital, okay. Is this thing clear, guys? Quickly just write a yes no in the chat. Quickly guys. Okay, so now let's focus on something which is related to function expressions, okay. So we have a function which is defined as food thought and then inside that we, okay, great, thank you, thanks guys. Okay, cool. So now we have this function expression and then we are trying to call food for thought and I want to know what will be the answer over here. So then we are printing out these things, right? Console.log choice 1 is that the favorite food and then we are defining the favorite food inside it and then we are trying to access it again, okay. Quickly guys, what will be the answer over here? So this is something which is related to it is easy concept, but yeah, it is something related to hoisting. Let me give you a hint, okay. Quickly, what will be the answer? Will it be choice 1 sushi, choice 2 sushi? Okay, 1. Will it be 1, 2, or will it be 3? Quickly, guys. This is something which you should think of as which is something which is related to hoisting. Okay, guys. So now before answering this, let's try to visualize this question and what is happening over here. So we have defined this function expression. This is how you define a function expression. You assign it to a variable. So that variable is food thought, and that is with the help of this variable along with the parenthesis you can call this function. And in this function the name is not compulsory. Okay, so you can write function along with that what is happening in the function. Now over here you are trying to print choice 1, which is favorite food, but this favorite food has not been defined yet, neither it has been declared. It is declared over here. Now it is also declared with the help of var keyword, and the favorite food is sushi. Now in any programming language, right, apart from JavaScript, right, it would have been it should give, and it will obviously give you the error that this variable has not been defined yet. And then you're printing out the choice 2 again, that is your favorite food, right? So in other programming languages it will definitely give you an error, but in JavaScript, right, obviously now this will say you that this variable has not been defined and it will throw you an error. But in this case what will happen, it will say that the variable has not been defined. It will, what will happen over here, this hoisting will take place. Hoisting will take place, that means the first line will be something like this: var favorite food. I'm not writing the entire thing, favorite food. That's it. That means this variable has been declared but it is undefined. Okay, so that is what you mean by hoisting. So JS engine allocates memory to the function and var during the creation phase. So there is something known as creation phase and execution phase. During the creation phase this will happen, this will allocate memory to the function as well as to the var. Okay, that is what happens. Okay, this is done in the global context, global execution context. That means there is something which is known as global context. That means before everything that thing will happen, that thing will occur. Okay, then functions are fully hoisted, but var only the left part is hoisted. That means if the var functions are fully hoisted, that means entire function will be hoisted. That means if you have, let me just go back, it means that if you haven't declared it over here, if you are calling this function over here at the top of this without even defining this, still it will work. Okay, you are calling this food thought, right? You might think that okay, this food thought has not been declared or defined yet, but it will be called and it will work absolutely fine. Why? Because functions are fully hoisted. But what about variables? Only the left part is hoisted. That means this thing will happen, that is over here, and it will be undefined. So that is why the correct option is choice undefined, choice to sushi. Okay, is this thing clear, guys? Because var declare after the console, so undefined. Yes, correct. And the main reason is that hoisting will occur, and we should always remember that functions are fully hoisted. Okay, even if you are calling a function, be it function expression or be it function declaration, right, still you will be able to call them. Why? Because functions are fully hoisted. And if you're calling some variables, right, and you haven't defined them yet, they will still work and the value you will be getting will be undefined because they are partially hoisted. Okay, is this thing clear, guys? Quickly, guys. I know it will be a little bit confusing for guys who have no prior experience or who don't know anything about JavaScript. So that is why we have these courses available on our Great Learning Academy as well as on a YouTube channel. You guys can see after the session is over, you can go visit those sessions, go visit those lectures, or on our academy or on YouTube channel, then revisit this session. Okay. Soon we will be releasing a video on JavaScript interview questions, which will be the entire full-fledged video. Okay, but since that will not be a live session, that will be a video. You cannot ask questions over there directly, but yeah, again, you can always go back and write it in the comments. Okay, cool. Okay, now let's start with the next question. So what will happen over here? I have already given you the hint, but still, yeah, let's try to figure it out. Okay, so we have this food thought, and I'm calling it before even defining it. Okay. So then what happens, I'm declaring the same thing, function is being called, and then same thing is happening. Okay, quickly, guys. So this should be a piece of cake for you guys. I've already explained this thing. Okay, Angular as well. Why you are going for Pritesh? Why are you going for the frameworks as well as the libraries? Either go for a library or go for a framework. Why are you trying to learn both of them, React as well as Angular? Pick one. Okay, Pritesh. Cool. So what will be the answer in this case? Okay, two, undefined sushi. Okay, great. Vinayak says two. Manish says three, and we have again different answers. Okay. Okay. Sumit says one. Shobha says three. Samat says two. Okay. 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 So the correct answer will be same, right? Why? Because same again. Even if we are declaring this thing over here, we are calling this function over here, and we have defined this function over here. Still, it will work. Why? Because functions are fully hoisted, as I told you earlier. So it won't. I'm little bit confused. Okay. No problem, Pritesh. So you should either go for a React or for Angular. It doesn't make sense if you are going for both. Okay, just make up your mind and then learn one, because they are both based on JavaScript. Okay, one is a framework, one is a library. It is better that you should go for libraries because they are much more. You will get the command over your program, right? In obviously framework will have much more, it will be complex for you to even learn that thing. It will take time, not complex, but it will take time. But for learning a library, it is easy, right? Cool. So the correct answer is that obviously this part is clear already to you, right? That what will happen over here, the left part will be hoisted, and that is why you will get undefined over here, and then you will get sushi over here. But over here, this won't be an error because functions are fully hoisted. So the correct option is 2 again. Okay, cool. So now what will be the output in this case? So you have the favorite fruit as grapes. Then you have a function. Then you have a function, which is a function expression, right? And then you are trying to print the console. You are trying to print, or you can say that obviously you can print favorite fruit, and then favorite fruit is orange, and then you are again printing your favorite fruit, and then you're calling your function. That is your function expression. Okay. Quickly, guys. Now, what will be the answer in this case? So function calling, putting before and after anyway. Yes, Manish. In JavaScript, you can either declare it first or then call it, or you can call it first then declare it. It is up to you. Okay, it doesn't make any difference. Okay. So okay, we have multiple answers, and Sumit, Samat, Vinayak, Shobha, all of you are saying one. Okay. Gaming is saying two. Okay. Okay, Santosh is saying one. Okay, so the correct answer is obviously grapes and sushi. Why? Because it has been already defined over here. And now, obviously, every time your left part will be hoisted. But since it has been hoisted and there is a value associated with it, that is this grapes, so it will take up this value. Okay, it will take up this value from the global context. Okay, then you will have over here, you will have grapes, and then since you are updating your variable, you will have over here, you will have oranges. So that is why you will be getting choice 1 is grapes, and then choice 2 is orange. Okay, so it is little bit confusing, guys, so you don't worry. It will take time to get used to the concepts of JavaScript, because JavaScript does not follow traditional programming languages. So basically, there is no such thing as hoisting in other programming language. There is obviously, if you do this thing in other programming language, it will throw you an error. So that is why you should be patient, and you should be obviously more careful when you are playing around with this. Now, so that is why if you want to stop this hoisting, right? So then what JavaScript did, they tried to make it as similar to other programming languages by using some different different keywords to stop this hoisting. Now, if you use let and const keywords instead of this var, then this hoisting will not happen, and it will they will be treated just like the other traditional programming languages. Okay, so hoisting will not happen. That means you will be getting error. Okay, cool. So now let's move on to the next question, which is you have your function expression and you are inside that function expression, you are printing your favorite food. Then you are, okay, I have again somehow given you the hint, okay. Now what you're doing, you are having this let fav food, that is the favorite food, sushi, okay, and then you will be having this choice to favorite food, and then you are calling this function that is food, that is the function expression, okay. So please revise all the, okay, sure, okay Manish, no problem, okay. So quickly now give me the answer of this question, okay. Undefined orange, okay. Sumit Sharma says 2, okay. Anyone else? Quickly guys. Vinayak says 2, okay. Samad says 3, okay. Good. Abhilash says 2, okay. Shobha Kumari says 3, okay. Correct. So the correct answer is 3. Why? Because it will throw you an error. Why? As I told you earlier, now it is behaving like your traditional programming languages, right? So as you can see over here, earlier if I have written over here the where keyword, then it would have been the correct option that you guys are giving, which is this, right? But I'm using a let keyword. Now hoisting will not happen. So it will be treated as other programming languages and it will throw you an error. It will say that this favorite food that you are trying to access over here is not being defined, okay. So you can see the error that you will be getting, well, cannot access favorite food before initializing it, like your traditional programming languages, okay. Okay guys, cool. So quickly, just give me a quick confirmation that everything is, you are able to understand everything. Quickly guys, yes, no. Okay, great. So now in this case you will be getting errors, okay. So now let's move on to the next question, which is let whether, your weather is the question, your weather is the variable and you not declare var. Yes, you haven't declared it with the help of var, so you have gone with the let keyword. That is how you, it will be treated as what are the things that will happen in your traditional programming languages. Fair enough, right? So now you have your let keyword that you are using to define a weather, that is sunny. Then you have the function which is change weather, and inside it you will be having let weather again. You have defined this let weather again and it is defined as rainy, and then you are trying to access it, printing it. You're calling the change weather, and then you are trying to access the original value of weather. What will be the output in this case? Sir, I have office work. Okay. No problem, Vishal. Okay, cool. So what will be the output in this case? So I haven't given you the options because options will reveal the answer. So that is why you need to write the answer in the chat quickly, guys. So in this case, the answer will be the changed weather is rainy and the original weather is sunny. Okay. So now what is happening over here? So in this, obviously you have defined this keyword over here. You have defined this variable with the help of let keyword, and in this you have defined this rainy. Now the second, then you are trying to print it. Obviously now you are again defining, you have already defined the weather over here, which is sunny, and then you are trying to print it. Now you might be thinking, there is one confusion only in this question, that you might be thinking, sir, we have defined weather over here and we are again defining weather over here, why it is not throwing us an error, right? Yes. Okay, no, it will not be an error. Okay, yeah, you have deleted it. Okay, engineer. Okay, cool. Now the only reason is that why it is happening, because the scope of these two weathers, right? This is weather 1, this is in a different scope, this is in a different scope. Now this is in a block scope, this weather is in a block scope, and the scope of this weather will be within this block, okay. But this is of global scope, so it will be throughout the program. Now if you're trying to define another let over here, then obviously it will throw you an error because they are in the same scope, okay. So that is why it works, okay. So that is why it will Say changed weather is rainy, original weather is sun. So that is why it works. Okay, cool. So now let's move on to the next question. Which of the following is a JavaScript data type? Quickly, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4. Which of the following is a JavaScript data type? Quickly, guys. So you can don't worry about if something is not clear. You can always revisit this session again and again. So it will be there on our YouTube channel. So don't worry. Okay. So if something is unclear or you're not sure about it, you want to do some backtracking, not backtracking, maybe you want to do some research or on that question why this is happening, you can do it at the end or after the session is over. Okay. So which of the following is a data type, guys? Is not a data type. Okay, so yeah, so the correct option will be bool, will be 2, that is your number. Bool is not a data type in JavaScript. Character is not a data type. Float is not a data type. The float, obviously now number will contain integer numbers as well as floating point numbers. Okay, so that will fall under this range, and this characters will fall under string. Okay, so there is no such thing as bool, there is boolean. Okay, and this characters will fall under this string. Okay, it's a string data type. Okay, cool. So the data type is number is the data type, and the primitive data types are number, string, boolean, null, and undefined. Okay, these are primitive data types in JavaScript. Cool. So now what will be the answer of this question? JavaScript is a dash language. So here you will understand, most of you might be thinking, so why JavaScript? What is the difference? What are the properties of JavaScript? In this question, you will be able to understand. Okay. So JavaScript is a dash language. Is it a dynamically typed language? Is it a strong type language? Is it a weakly type language? Both A and B. What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, Pritesh says 4. Boolean is a data type. Yes, not a bool, Manish. Boolean is a data type, but bool is not a data type. Okay, in JavaScript. Okay, Sumit says 4. Okay, cool. So now the answer to this question is both A and C. Okay, 4 is the correct option. Okay. So now what do you mean by dynamically typed language? So you don't have to specify any data type. So let me just give you an example. Let's suppose if you're writing var name and you're writing var name again, or not, let's name it as n. Okay, and you're writing var s. Okay, so if you're inserting a string in it, let's suppose you're writing Fazan, and in this you're writing 10, and in this you're writing true. Okay, not a string, true. Okay, so you are not specifying which data type you are inserting, but it is dynamically allocated, or it is being, the type of this variable is defined by the way, by what you are inserting in this variable. So once you are inserting a string in it, it will be treated as a string. Once you are inserting number into it, it will be treated as a number. Once you are inserting a boolean value, it will be treated as a boolean. Okay, so it is known as dynamically typed language. So JavaScript is a dynamically typed language. Okay, is this thing clear? So the reason for this is that is why you can define it in such a way. But in other programming languages, you have to write int x, you have to write float x, float b, right, or float y, right? So you have to define this thing over here, that which data type, which type of value you will be inserting. So those are not your dynamically typed language. But yeah, yes, it is a scripting language, yes. But what about this weakly typed language? What is this? This means that type coercion is allowed. That means while you are comparing two values of different data types, the type of one variable will be forced to change into another. Okay, and so that the comparison is made possible. So what happens over here? So let me give you an example. If I'm writing this if condition, and in that if I'm writing this if 1, or you can say that if 1 is equal to 1, and this is a string. So I'm using a double equal to. Okay, So I'm trying to check if a number is equal to a string. So then write equal, else write not equal. Okay, but over here what will happen, the type, obviously now the type, when you're using this double equal to sign, they will not check the type of the data type. Okay, they will just check the value. So over here you will be checking only the values and this will work. Okay, so one more example, let me just give you, let me just clear it out. So one more example can be where name or where n is equivalent to a, b, c. Okay, this is a string. Now what I'm doing, we have this where n or m equal to 10. Then what I'm doing, m is equivalent to n plus m. Now if this thing you will be doing in any other programming language, this will throw you an error saying that one is a string, one is one is a number or an integer, right? But over here when you're doing this thing, right, this will do nothing but it will concatenate them like this. And the type of this variable, earlier it was a number, now it will be a string. The type will be changed. Okay, so that is why it is known as a weakly typed language. So that is the reason why JavaScript is a weakly typed language. Okay, so now coming back to your question, what is a JavaScript, or JavaScript is a dash. So it is dynamically typed language and a weakly typed language. That means both A and C. Okay, is this thing clear? Am I making sense, guys? Do you want me to repeat anything? The type of one data type was forced to change into another. Is the thing clear, guys? Okay, great. Now let's go back to the next question. What will be the output over here? So you have where a equal to minus 10.2256. Then I'm doing console.log type of a. So this type of is an operator, or you can say it's a method which helps you to check the type of that particular value or the type of that particular variable. Okay, so over here if you can see that a is a number. Okay, so that is why you will be getting over here, the correct option is that this will be a number. So as I told you earlier, all the integers, all the floating point numbers, all will fall under this number category, number data type. Okay, so the correct option is 2, not 3. It's not a string, guys. It is 2. The answer is 2, right? It's not a string. It's not a boolean value as well. So the type, the data type of a is a number. Okay, correct. Okay, cool. So positive, negative, decimal data type is a number. Okay, so all of these will fall under number. Now can anyone tell me what will be the output in this case? Okay, cool. So now over here, what has happened? What will be the type of this? So obviously this is number, right? That is clear. The type of this is a number, right? But when this is returning this value, this will be returned as a string. So then what we are doing, we are checking the type of a number that is in the form of string. so that is why you will be getting your answer as string. Okay, so let me just show you guys what do I mean. Okay, so let me open my console. Where is my, yeah, so let me just make this a little bit visible to you guys. Just drag it down. Let me, yeah, cool. So I hope this will be visible to you guys. Okay, so now what I'm doing, I'm declaring a variable a and I'm writing a 10 in it. Okay, this is, don't worry about this undefined that you will see, that you are seeing. Okay, so now that what I'm doing, I'm writing type of, now I'm checking the type of a. Okay, so it says number. Now if you can observe, it is in double quotes, right? So what is in double quotes? Why do you have this double quotes when something is a string? Now if I'm doing this type of, then again I'm writing type of, then I'm writing a. So now this part, type of a, the first type of a will return a number, and then once that number, that means I'm talking about this will be the output, right? So if I'm copying this thing, this will be something like this. So I'm writing again the type of, but in this type of it will return like this, a number, right? So that is why you are getting the string as your output. Okay, is this thing clear? So this is a little bit tricky question that usually an interviewer will ask. Okay, so that is why it will give you an output which is string. Okay, cool. Now, which operator does not allow type coercion? Okay, is this thing clear, guys? What was the question? Okay, I hope this is clear. So that is why you will be getting your output as string. Okay, is this thing clear? Quickly confirm in the chat so that we can move to our last question, and then probably we'll wind up the session. Okay. Is this thing clear, guys? Okay, great. So now let's do our last question. Which of the following operators does not allow implicit? Implicit means automatic type coercion. Type coercion means converting one type into another. So this is the operator. Okay, earlier when I told you that if something is equal to something and then the type will not be checked, so I told you 1 is equivalent to 1. Okay, then something will happen. So let's suppose this is equal, and then else I will say not equal. Okay, so in that case, this would have, if I'm using these double equal to sign, it will give me the output as equal, because it only checks what, the value. But if I'm doing a triple equal to sign over here, it will check for both the value as well as the what, data type. So that is why in this case you will be getting not equal to. Okay, so type coercion is not allowed if you will use what, a triple equal to sign. So this will stop your type coercion. Okay, so now let's quickly wind up this session. Okay, and now let me just quickly whatever the questions that we did, let me just quickly revisit them. Okay, so the first question was, what is a JavaScript? We talked about different things, that it's a verb of the page, any actions that you want to perform, you will use this you will use JavaScript. Okay, then how many ways are there to write JavaScript code? It was 3. What? Console, script tag, and external JS, that is internal and external JS. Then how many ways are there to open up your console? There are 2 ways. That means Control Shift I and directly going. And where we use this, so basically when you don't want the type coercion to occur, okay, when you want, let's suppose if 1 is equal to 1 was the string. Now obviously this should not, in any case this should not give you the output as equal, right? So that is why when you want to stop that type coercion, you will use that triple equal to sign. Okay, now the right click and go to inspect is the second way. Okay, how you can directly go ahead and insert an HTML file? So you will use a script tag, and inside that you will write your script. Okay, then the third question was how you can write your internal script. What is the syntax? So the correct syntax is in script tag, then along with the type, and then you will just write your script tag like this over here. Okay, you just write your script, whatever is the script. Okay, then how do you write your external script? You will just use source. Okay, so I hope I have shown you guys. Yeah, over here you can see that script type of, and then the source of the JavaScript file, which is this file, and then you can directly go ahead and write your JavaScript code. Okay, and then you have this variable over here, and you just printed out those variables, what is the value of those variables. Then you have your output over here. In this case, wherever you want to print the error, what was the error in this, that the naming convention was not followed. Okay, then about in this we were talking about type coercion and hoisting. Same thing here, hoisting, that functions are partially hoisted and variables are functions are fully hoisted and variables are partially hoisted. Okay, then we talked about this again, the same thing about hoisting. Then over here we use a new keyword that was let, and which stops the partial hoisting of variables. Okay, then we talked about the scope of let and var keyword. In let, if they are in the same scope, you can use same variables, like we use weather and weather, because they were in a different scope. Then we talked about data types. Then we talked about properties of JavaScript, that is, it's a dynamically and weakly typed language. Then we talked about the type of operator, and then we talked about the return type of the type of operator, which is a string. Then we talked about this type coercion, and that's it. Okay, so cool. So thank you so much, guys, and I hope you like this session. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel, make sure you subscribe to our channel and share it with your friends. Okay, cool. So please next session on core Java problems. Sure. The next session that tomorrow is going to be on common coding problems, wherein I will be explaining some of the common coding problems that are asked in some of the tech giants and some other companies as well. Okay, cool. So thank you so much, guys, and stay safe and all the very best. Tomorrow same time, guys, 12.